Strongest Man on Earth 2025 is a wrap, and I'm here to review the day 2 and look at the total of the contest and give you my breakdown. So after day 1 we had Trey Mitchell leading the pack with 45 points. We had Tom Stoltman in second with 42.5. In third place we have Thomas Evans with 39.5, sharing that third place together with Evan Singleton with 39.5 points. Then we had Bryce Johnson just half point behind, shared third place with 39, Austin Andrade with 38. And as you can see, very close before heading into day 2. So first event of day 2 was the max raw trap bar deadlift for max. The athletes had a total of 3 attempts each. And in the end of the event, we saw the winner of the event shared between Lucas Hatton and Evan Singleton with 1,135 pounds or 514 kilos. So approximately what we were talking about, around the 500 kilo mark. Then in third place, we saw Thomas Evans pulling 1,057 pounds, which was about 480 kilos. Then behind we saw Austin Andrade with 457 kilos. The same as Trey Mitchell, who also pulled the same. Down in shared 6th place we saw Eddie Williams, Bryce Johnson and Andre Foyte. So very interesting event. As predicted, Lucas and Evan high up there, and the 3-time World's Strongest Man, Tom Stoltman, not able to come on the top half in this event. So going into the second event of the day was the super yoke safe carry. Was very looking forward to this one due to the heavy weights. And as we knew, the athletes first got to walk 6 meters with about 540 kilo yoke. And if you finished, you'd go onto the second round and try to finish the 650 kilos. The first man who went out on the second yoke was Tristan Holt, and he ended up being the winner of the event, walking with 650 kilos or about 1,450,000 million pounds in 11.85 seconds. Tristan Holt. The only other guy to finish the last yoke was Austin Andrade in 18 seconds. The athletes had 30 seconds to finish. In third place we saw Lucas Hatton. In fourth, Bryce Johnson. In fifth, Thomas Evans. And a little bit surprising to me, Evan Singleton all the way down in 6th in this event. I think the main problem for Evan here is he usually starts with a super wide stance. It worked on the first yoke, but then in the second, starting with such a wide stance and then go directly in here with that amount of weight, it was just too heavy. So he was able to lift it easily, but as soon as he tried to narrow his feet, he just couldn't walk anymore. So all the way down in 6th in event 6. So then when we looked after 2 events of day 2, just 2 events remaining, we saw Evan Singleton on top of the leaderboard with 60 points, 66 points. And so crazy, because if you look down in 6th place, we saw Bryce Johnson just 4 places behind first place. So top 6 just separated by 4 points. Lucas Hatton and Thomas Evans and Austin Andrade sharing 2nd place with 65.5, so a half points up to first, and Trey Mitchell with 64.5 in 5th place. Tom Stoltman was starting to lose track of the leader pack here, unfortunately for him. And also after this event we started to see his arm bruising up badly, unfortunately for Tom. Second to last event, standing chest press, an event we saw in 2023 at the Strongest Man on Earth. And we knew that guys like Evan Singleton and Thomas Evans would do great there due to the fact that they did last time around. Evan Singleton 2 years ago managed to do all kicks except the last one. Thomas Evans managed to do the last one just for 1 rep. This time around we saw Lucas Hatton coming and trying it out for first time ever. He did very well, doing a new world record on this apparatus, doing 3 reps at the last weight of 570 pounds. So a total of 10 reps, winning the event. Lucas the Lucas Hatton. In second place, shared between Evan Singleton. Evan, he did progress with 2 more reps from 2 years ago. Thomas Evans progress with 1 rep, sharing the second place. Trey Mitchell getting 1 rep on the last keg of 570 pounds, about 260 kilos in hands. Joshua Spurgeon, surprising me overall in this contest, very good, getting 7 kegs. Andre Foytu, Austin Andrade the same, and Bryce Johnson just 1 less. So yeah, Nick Ardione, Westervinsky, Maxime Boudreau, and Tristan Hout, Eddie Williams were all down at 4-5 reps there, and we started to see the pack separated. Also Tom Stoltman here gaining 8th place in the chest press, and yeah, losing more points on the leading pack. So the overall before the last event was crazy. I mean, such a nail biter. Leading the overall before going into the last event was Lucas Hatton with 81.5 points. Just 1 point behind, we saw Evan Singleton with 80.5. Then in third place with a half point less than Evan Singleton, we saw Thomas Evans. I mean, what a show. What a performance from Thomas Evans in this competition. Fourth place, Trey Mitchell with 77.5. So 2.5 points off the podium and 4 points behind first place. And it's wide open for top 4, top 5, because Austin Andrade also just 1 point behind Trey Mitchell. So going into the last event, we would see that this go out in after the overall standing. And all the way on the bottom, I believe at this point we saw like 2 athletes pulled out, Bobby Thompson and Shane Flowers. Shane Flowers suffered a lat tear in warming up to the Atlas Stones. Bobby Thompson, he was all over the place on day 1 and decided not to compete in day 2. So it was just remaining 14 athletes, and that meant Maxime Boudreau going against Nick Ardione in the first heat. And if you follow Strongman, you would know these 2 athletes are one of the best in the world in this event. And that showed clearly, because the first heat with Maxime Boudreau and Nick Ardione ended up being the first place and third place overall in this event. And in the next heat, we saw Eddie Williams going up against Wesley Dervinsky. And Wesley Dervinsky was second place overall. So I mean, the first 2 heats, we saw first, second and third place in this event. And yeah, I bet the athletes behind the curtains waiting for their turn, especially Evan Singleton and Lucas Hatton and so on, was biting their nails hardly here, because yeah, the athletes could the athletes lower in the pack doing so well could mess up a lot of things here. So second to last heat, we saw Thomas Evans and Trey Mitchell battling it out, and as you knew, Trey Mitchell would need a couple of guys between him and Thomas Evans to get into the podium, and Thomas Evans would just need to beat Trey Mitchell to stay in third place and podium and have a real chance to fight for even higher placing, because he was just 1.5 points behind first place. And as you can see, after the second to last heat finished, we saw both Thomas Evans and Trey Mitchell being totally exhausted after the 8th event. I mean, yeah, Eddie Williams was joking about having another 2 events, but I'm sure Thomas Evans and Trey Mitchell at this point was very happy that the 8th event was the last event of the competition. So in the last heat, we saw Evan Singleton going up against Lucas Hatton. Lucas Hatton was maybe a little bit ahead in the front carry, but as we know, Evan Singleton very, very good in the power stairs. Evan with just 1 step ahead, he stopped up actually looking at Hatton and like making emojis with his face. And yeah, I mean, I don't think he was aware how close it was, because he finished in 44.29 seconds. And Lucas Hatton was just behind and also finished it in 52 seconds. And Evan Singleton, he would need 1 guy between him and Bryce Johnson. I mean, he would need 1 guy between him and Lucas Hatton, and that was Bryce Johnson. Bryce Johnson finished in 48 seconds, almost 49, and Lucas Hatton in 52 seconds. So I mean, if Lucas Hatton was just 3 seconds faster, he would have been just behind Evan Singleton in this event. And as you saw in the overall standing, this meant that the winner of Strongest Man on Earth 2025 was Evan Singleton, 93.5 points, 1 point behind Lucas Hatton with 92.5. In third place, we saw Thomas Evans with 88. Yeah, Austin Andrade in fourth, Bryce Johnson fifth, shared with Trey Mitchell at the same points. Also at seventh place, we saw a shared between Tristan Hoth and Tom Stoltman with 72.5. So yeah, very, very close competition. As you can see, top 6 being from the States. A lot of people were talking about too many Americans in this field of athletes, but as you can see, the top 6 being the Americans just shows that the strongest guys in the world, the strongest men on earth, are from the States. So, very interesting contest. And I mean, if you look at Lucas Hatton being 1 point behind Evan Singleton, we would probably say he lost the competition not in the power stairs, but in the throwing. He didn't manage to do the 65-pound keg on day 1. In training, he did 60-pound keg every time, and he was just there about getting 70-pound over, and he should have had the 65-pound. If he got the 65-pound, or even if he just walked a couple of meters more with the frame, overall he would be in first. If we look at Thomas Evans, I mean, he had a flawless competition. So good performance from Thomas, and I'm not really sure he could have edged out anymore. Austin Andrade being 10 points behind first place, and I mean just 5 points behind the podium. And I believe he felt he lost it in the athlete stones maybe. He was very frustrated there in day 1 with the athlete stones. Looking at Trey Mitchell being 11 points behind, he would also be very frustrated by himself in a couple of events. But very, very well deserving victory for Evan Singleton, be crowned the strongest man on earth. And I mean, just a couple of months ago, he tore his biceps and had to pull out from World's Strongest Man. 5 weeks later, he competed at the Strongman Classic in Royal Albert Hall, won the competition, won the one-day show, fast-paced, and then coming into this heaviest show in the world just a couple of weeks later, and also winning this one, cementing him as maybe the top strongman in the world at this moment. Very excited for next coming contests. We have the Rogue coming up in not too long time. In 2 weeks, we have the World Deadlift Champs, where we are going to see guys like Pablo Nakonechny back. We'll see Hafthor. Tom Stoltman was going there, but now I'm not sure about it with his arm. So yeah, looking very interesting. So top of the podium, Evan Singleton. Very, very well done from Evan. Second, Lucas Hatton, going up from third place last year, and such a great performance again by Thomas Evans. So if we take a first look at my prediction, as you see, I predicted Evan Singleton winning the comp with 106 points. He did end up winning the competition. Even after day 1, people were losing their trust or their faith in Evan Singleton. I did not. After day 1, I wrote on the last YouTube video, I actually still saw Evan winning the show if he didn't injure himself, which he luckily didn't. In second place, I had Tom Stoltman. Unfortunately, Tom didn't bring it in this comp, finishing 7th, 8th in this one. In third place, I had Lucas Hatton, and he did very well, managed second place in this field. I had Bryce Johnson in 4th, Austin Andrade in 5th, Trey Mitchell in 6th. So yeah, I mean, by top 6, I there had Trey Mitchell, Bryce. Yeah, the only guy who surprised me here was Thomas Evans. He took the place from Tom Stoltman. So except from Tom Stoltman, I actually had, My top 7 guys placed top 6th, so not too bad, and also had the winner correct, so I'm happy about my prediction. Very, very excited to watch this competition. Great show again from Brian Shaw. Almost flawless. The worst equipment failure would be the chest press. We saw a malfunction there with Eddie Williams and Wesley Davinsky. When they were supposed to drop a keg, it came 2 kegs and they had to fix the equipment. Except from that, I think it was very well done. Austin Andrade would also say there was a malfunction with the 3rd stone, 550-pound stone. He was coming out and he couldn't grip it. He said it was full of sweat after Bryce Johnson. But I mean, he and his helper spent a lot of time to touch the stone and make it ready for lifting. So I mean, he couldn't really blame the sweat. He was up to himself to fix it. Anyway, great competition. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.